Hi, this is Wanny at CDWanny on YouTube. Today's story involves kid rodeo with no horses, so we had to make do with what we had. And what we do with this channel is we tell humorous and adventuresome stories. And if you have any stories yourself that you'd like told on here, we can either give your name or keep you anonymous, whatever you'd like to do. Just email me at cdwanny@yahoo.com. If you enjoy this channel, be sure and hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the story I'm telling today, be sure and hit the like button. And if you want to be notified of future stories, well then be sure and hit that bell. And you'll be notified of stories when stories come up. So, with that being said, let's get started with our story. Today's story, we're going to go back to my cousin Kim's house out in the country. I was a city boy, he was a country boy. And there's nobody closer or thicker than thieves as cousins. And so Kim and I, we'd spend the night at each other's house, get into all kinds of, well, trouble as little as the parents could keep us from getting into. Usually they figured out at the farm was a safer bet. They were pretty mistaken. I already told a story on here about the time we totally unassembled my Uncle Jerry's station wagon, much to his chagrin. I don't know if he wanted to sell it. I don't know what he was planning on doing with it. But I don't know, we were 8 to 10 years old, somewhere in there, just totally dismantled this thing and left it in a pile with buckets upon buckets of rivets. So whenever I come over to spend the night with my cousin Kim, Jerry would, my Uncle Jerry, he'd get kind of a nervous tick about him, and he kept looking over his shoulder like he was expecting a monster to jump out and attack him at any minute. And, he'd run down a list of what we were allowed and what we weren't allowed to do, and invariably he'd forget something. And this particular time, we'd already had our BB guns taken away from us again. That kind of seemed to be the first order of business. We'd shoot something we weren't supposed to be shooting and get our BB guns confiscated. And so we were left to our imaginations as what to do. And Kim goes, well, let's play cowboys and Indians. And it was like, well, we ain't got a horse. And he goes, yeah, but we got a cow. And so me and Kim went over to this one single cow they had, and Uncle Jerry had bought this cow it was actually a calf at the time he bought it, I believe, and his intention was to fatten it up and in a year or so butcher it. But to this day I don't know what happened to that cow, but I know the kids gave it a name and befriended it pretty much like a pet. So me and Kim are like 8 to 10 years old, somewhere in there, and we're going to play rodeo with this cow. Well, it's a full-grown cow at this point, and we're trying to hoist each other up on the cow, and several things would happen. Either the cow would move and we'd fall over, or we'd end up flipping all the way over the side of the cow. We had no idea what to do, or what we were doing, or how to do it. But we just knew we were going to ride this cow, and so we said we come up with the ingenious idea of going out to the orchard, getting a few apples, and we'd lead the cow. And in between the tool shed and the chicken coop, there were these rafters up there. Well, Kim got up there in the rafters. You know where this is going, right? And so I had the apples, and I'm leading this cow underneath the rafters. Well, Kim drops down out of the rafters on top of this cow. And of course we're only 8 to 10 years old, so our legs ain't that long. And we can't quite straddle the cow, and we hadn't thought enough to come up with anything in the form of reins, to hold on to. And so essentially what happened was Kim fell down on this thing. He dug his toes into the side as best he could, and he just kind of grabbed onto whatever beef that he could get his hands on, and then he just hung on for dear life. And dear life it was, because this cow's just meandering along, and it can't see what's behind him. He can't see what's on top of him. Can't see what jumped on him. He's just suddenly got the impression that the 70-pound bobcat just jumped on his back and dug in his claws and is hanging on for dear life. Cow takes off like a shot, and it's just running rampant everywhere. I still got an apple, so I'm wandering out to the field watching this while I'm chewing on an apple. My Uncle Jerry, he's doing whatever farmyard chores needed to be done at the time. He's over there like digging post holes or fixing a fence or some darn thing. But I can sit there eating an apple, and I look over at Jerry, and I can see Jerry's digging, and he stops, and he looks this way. By that time, the cow had already run by him, and he looks the other way, and it's like, wow, what's going on? He sees his cow being ridden by the 70-pound bobcat hanging onto his back, which is his little pig-shaved son, you know. And he knows there's two of us, so he starts looking around for the other one, wondering what's coming next. You know, am I going to be riding a pig or an ostrich? You know, who knows? But Jerry runs after Kim on the bull, or on the cow. The cow is doing everything in its power to try to shake Kim loose, and that involves pretty much running next to trees, along the fence line, barbed wire, whatever it can get close to try to scrape Kim off. Kim, on the other hand, he's looking for any opportunity he can to get off of this cow, because he's getting scraped, he's getting beaten, he's been bounced to death hanging onto the back of this thing, and he's looking for an injection point too, because he don't want to be there any more than the cow wants him there. And eventually the cow turns right, Kim goes forward and just kind of skids off the top of the bull and goes tumbling across the ground into the dirt. And I remember he's sitting there and he's got his legs sticking straight out in front of him with his toes up. And I can tell that he's seeing stars, because he's kind of got this look on his face where his eyes aren't quite focused, and he can't really tell who's around him, and he can't speak coherently. He's just, you know, kind of, bah, 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 bah. Kim, are you okay? Bah, 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 bah. Jerry's like, son, is anything broken? Bah, 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 bah. You know, he just can't form sentences. But anyway, we got him inside. His head cleared up. Everybody sat down and had a cup of coffee, and while they decided what to do with us, you know, handcuffs, chains, rope us to a tree so we couldn't get any more trouble. I don't know, we didn't really get in trouble for that one. You know, they just worried that Kim was, that he wasn't dead or anything was broken. But anyway, that's the story of me and Kim playing rodeo out in the field with the cow. If you like it, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. And if you got a story of your own, I would love to tell it. Just email it to me at CDWanny@yahoo.com. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.